Hey everybody, I'm in a minute before the ad lets up just to say hello and hang out with you and have some coffee really quick, and then we'll get started. Hope everybody's doing all right today. It's got to be a good day. It's Monday, right? There can't possibly be any problems. Oh, yeah. Consuming, understand. Let me turn that down. It goes to off. Well, we're just going to make that work. All right. How's everybody doing today? My name is Bear. I'm barely watercoloring. My mic is way up in the air right now. Let me bring it down a little bit. That should be fine. Um, Last week, Thursday, we did this color chart. We did a mixture of, I'll hold it diagonally. We did a mixture of these more primary colors from my palette right down the middle. And we did a blend of the corresponding coordinates, both above and below that line. So the one side is the richer, darker version, and the other side is the watered down, lighter version. Hi, guys. Welcome in. I'm going to try to make it easy today on me and hopefully everybody else. Today is 100% play day. We're just going to play. I don't have a solid plan. My goal is, at minimum, my plan is I'm not going to use any pure colors directly from my palette. I'm going to do some kind of color mix for everything I do. Because I shy away from mixing colors more than I should. I in fact shouldn't shy away from using them at all. Don't get me wrong, they are absolutely gorgeous colors by themselves, but I have a really bad habit of not using some of the beautiful blends you can get by mixing colors around. So I'm going to try to play with that today, but I'm going to do it in easy mode. I'm just doing pure abstracty, throwing down on paper what I want. So much so that I am probably going to stick with one brush today, just a decent sized round brush. I think it's my big one. We're just going to go with that today, I think. And I am literally just going to be doing some color mixes on the side. We're going to get some clean water in our brush, and we're just going to... Hey, sound effect. Hey, somebody just followed. Sophie Khan, welcome in. It should let you chat before too long. I think you have to be a follower and then be on for like 5 minutes or something before it lets you chat. But hello, welcome in. So yeah, I'm gonna pick some paper, get some, well, just pure water on it and some random shapes that we're gonna pick at. We're gonna make some color mixes and we're just gonna apply a thick amount of some of those color mixes to like the edges and in certain spots. Let them blend and swirl and do what they want, see what we get. I may have to pick them up and move them a little bit, but I'm just gonna let nature take its course with what we're doing today. I'm not going to go with any intent. I'm just going to play. As for that, what size paper am I going to use? Well, to start, I'm going to use this giant ass paper I've got, this A3 paper, but I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to pull a sheet of this off. So I've got some paper to play with. By using these great big huge sheets and cutting them into smaller sizes, I think I'm making the best use of the large sheet. Let's go. There we go. a paper cutter. Okay, I have to move my coffee. 1 second. Hi, Art Pisces. I am using arches. Yes. I've mentioned it before, but I went ahead and used the Amazon subscription process to be able to get this large form factor version of the arches paper. So I've got some to use as like a scratch paper sometimes. And then also if I want to do a giant painting on it, I can do that. But mainly so I can do this. I can cut it down to size so I can use it for practice, right? The only reason I'm willing to use arches for practice, right, is because I've gotten such mixed results on some cheaper papers, which is great, but not perfect. But in the process, I set the subscription to I get 4 of these a year. So every 3 months, one will send automatically. And if I ever end up not using it, I'll be building up a stockpile. So my goal is to kind of use it at about the rate I replenish, so I don't go nuts spending money on good paper, right? And the cutter I'm using, interestingly enough, I believe we got this from a Value Village. It is by Westcott. It's a little dusty with paper and just dust. But yeah, it's pretty basic paper cutter. It's got a cutter on 2 different sides. It lifts up so you can get the paper underneath it. And it's got a inches and millimeter ruler, or I'm sorry, inches and centimeter. I can't read on the blue side right there. Yeah. The paper, let me check Amazon. I think I have that up still because it's in my subs. I think it was like 23 or 25 bucks. You get like $1 off getting it on subscription. Let me see. Amazon. There it is. Amazon. Orders. Or shit. And the last A3 I got is right here. It's listing it incorrectly as 10 by 14, but on the same page for the listing is the 11.69 by 16.53, which is A3 paper everywhere else in the world. I was wrong on the price. It says that it is 33 bucks, but yeah, I get it $1 cheaper through the subscription. So it's expensive, but getting it 4 times a year, that's actually not that bad in my book. Oh yeah, you cut with scissors? Oh my God, no, don't. It's such a pain. These cutters are so great. Like seriously, almost every thrift store under the sun, I think, is going to have a couple of these in their stationery section. You should totally take advantage of it because you can get them for a couple bucks or less sometimes. It's a great way to get them. And they even have the big ones, those, the one that you could never put on your desk unless you have a permanent home for it, like the one with the big, like, kushing, like huge, like lever version of a cutter. That's absolutely like 4 times as big as this. Those things are amazing, but there's just no room in my house for it in our apartment. So this was great for me because almost everything I use can fit in this, even this one, right? So I can cut it through this side first before turning it and cutting it the other direction, which is what I'm going to do now. I'm probably not going to measure it because I'm not going for anything I can frame. I don't care about that right now for this. So I'm just going to kind of just pick roughly in the middle and cut it. Look at how clean that is. What a perfect cut that was. Yeah, see, it's not bad. So I think I start with just 4 randomly sized pieces. I love this one here. Excuse me. All right. We got ourselves 4 sheets, and I think I accidentally flipped that one upside down. Nope, I was right. That's right side up. That's right side up. Right side up. Perfect. Okay. Then yeah, they're absolutely not they're absolutely not the same size as each other, but who cares? Yeah, I don't care. They're just for scratch. I would take more care to measure them if I was trying to do something special with it. So they are totally different sizes. All four are different sizes. All right, let me put this over here. Actually, I probably don't need this again today. I'll put it in my drawer. Certainly pretty thing. Cool. What are we painting today? Total abstract. So, last week on Thursday, I did this color mix chart where I had 8 colors from my primary palette down the middle here. And I did some color mixes on darker on the one side and lighter versions on the other. So the opposite square, or in this perspective, the opposite diamond, is the exact same color, just a lighter value on the left. That way I can kind of have a visual of some of my palette, so I know what the mixes look like. Because again, not knowing me yet truly well, I am new at this. I've only been painting for, I think, since a year ago in April. So I would say like a year and a half ish of time. So I'm still a total noob and I'm going to make all kinds of mistakes. That's just who I am. That's how I'm going to be. I accept it. I look to you guys that know better to help educate me in the better terminology, the better processes, the better practices as we go. And I'll figure it out as I go, right? Having mistakes. Exactly. And, I feel like I learn better by doing. And part of my goal in the past was try to do the thing, make the obvious mistakes that I'm going to make, even though I might be trying my best without any training, and then go get some basic training through YouTube videos, Instagram reels, whatever else, wherever I can get that information from you guys, and then try again with the new knowledge and practice upon that and try to improve between the beginning and the end of the stream. I realized pretty quickly on that I'd never be able to get anything done in one stream because I don't stream for 5 hours. I go for like 2, 3 if I'm just not paying attention. I'd never be able to get that many done in one stream without being exhausted by it. And the goal was to practice enough to get better and enjoy it without making me hate it and turning it into a chore, right? I'm not going to art school. I'm not trying to beat myself to death over this stuff. I'm just having fun with it, right? So yes, but again, this is only 8 of my primary colors. And you can see the names on the left side here, if you can read my terrible writing. Quinacridone red, dragon's blood, orange lake, yellow vanadium, I think that's how you pronounce that, Cupid green light, Prussian blue, ultramarine deep, and a quinacridone violet reddish, right? But this is only some of my palette. The rest of it is here in my messy, not messy palette, depending on who you ask. I'm pretty anal about keeping it clean. I'm trying to be better about just letting them mix and be in there, which is part of the test, right? I need to get better at using mixes. So this is kind of what I'm going with. Some of them I need to refill. They're getting kind of low, but I've got plenty over here. I've got all my paint over in the corner over here, most of it. And most of what I use is my Mary Blue, with a couple of other ones mixed in here. So this is an example of one of my Mary Blue tubes. Right. And on the other side of it. Right. So it kind of has a sample of the color with different values from dark to light around the top of the tube. So you can get a good idea of what's in it. And I really like that brand. It's really beautiful. It's got nice granulation, as they say, as you can see, because a good majority of this is my Mary Blue. So it's got a really good look to it. And what's great about them is they're one of the few brands out there that have a really great like set of starter sets with different, renowned watercolorists having their own favorite mixes. So the one I got first was from Jenna Rainey. You can find her on YouTube, and her set is available on Amazon. That's what I started with, and I was like, I love this. Goddess Whispers in chat. I sent her my previous palette, which had 5 or 6 of those. It's all the colors that were in the Jenna Rainey set, plus a bunch of my previous paints that I used, and I sent her a pre-made palette. So she's got some of them, and then I filled in my palette with the rest of them, and I've got, a full swatch that I did of my entire palette here. And as I fill it in, I put the different things in on each side. So the left is the entire left side of my palette. even when we go around the corner here, these last four are these four here. And then this side is this side of my palette, excluding the bottom right four sections. That way they align fairly well, right? So when I come back in the future and I fill in new paints into my blank spots on my palette, I'll probably have to clean those few out before I load them something new. I can add that new swatch to this and I'll have a more complete view of my palette. And if I had known before I did this, these two greens I got after I had this one. So that's why this one is down here instead of up next to the yellow. So it's not like perfectly next to each other, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, this is my my good swatch that I can use to kind of get an idea of what the pure color looks like. And I realized, oh my God, I've not been mixing. So that's what this is for. But clearly I only have room to do 8 primary colors because you can see how many I've got here. I've got way more than 8. If I did every one of these, even excluding black and maybe even excluding Payne's Gray, I would have been here for like 4 streams just doing cubes. So I'd never have had any room or time to do that. It would have been like 300 squares on a giant sheet or multiple sheets. So I stuck with 8 just to get an idea. So yeah, let me put this up and we can get started playing around because I've been yammering. But that's okay. I'm introducing myself and talking about my process or lack of process. All right. Let's make some room. The song is totally stopped. Is it because there's nothing on the list? Nope, there's stuff on the list. It's just not playing because it doesn't feel like it. But it says that it is, but it's not. So let me refresh it. Refresh. Oh yeah, of course it starts like as soon as I give up on it. There we go. All right. So I've got some water already set. Actually, interesting, these two I have left over from last week. They were so pretty much clean. I left them here to not waste it. But I did drain my rinse water and got some fresh rinse water. Oh, I got tape on here. Oh, this was when I was trying that IRL stream. I brought so much, I can use the other side of it. I brought so much paper towel with me when I went on that IRL stream, hanged out at the park, that I didn't use it all. So I'm trying, excuse me, hiccup. I'm trying to use through this until I'm burned out of using it, and then I can grab some fresh, but I'll just stick that over here. Excuse me. You drink some coffee. I see my mic is almost unplugged. 1 second. There we go. All right, let me put my coffee somewhere else so I don't accidentally drink it with like paint in it or something. Like Goddess did. Calling you out. Work stuff, garbage. Okay, nope, that's fine. All right. So let me think. So before I get anything on the paper, let me go ahead and wet my palette down and then make some mixes that we want to use. I might even use some that I did already because the spots are all mostly here still. But my goal today is not to touch anything from my primary paint wells on my palettes without mixing them first with something else, just to try getting some offshoots, right? I know there's a better word for it, but some blends or mixes of the colors, right? Water, here it is. Oh, before us, right? So chances are, I'm probably going to be blasting through the first 4 because I'm just doing some really quick abstracts, right? I sometimes make a mistake of going overboard and doing way too much. So I'm trying to be light-handed today. So I'm just going to grab some clean water. And I'm just going to make some shapes. I'm not going to go crazy with it. I think I'll just do like some big blobbies. All right. Just water everywhere. Just some randomness. Let me start up here, because there's some neat looking colors here. Okay. Some pretty red up here. Let's mix that up and add some. Okay. Got some blues and greens mixed together down here a little bit. Let's add some of that. I have to be really careful where I look to make sure I'm actually touching the water on there. Okay. We got some pretty greens over here. Let's grab some of that. Some yellow and orange mixture. See what we can do with what's already on here. All right, let's let that sit there and pick another piece of paper up. Hey, Desert, welcome in. Kind of lurking? Pretty colors? Thank you. Nope, you're good to always lurk. I'm completely playing with random colors. I'm trying to grab stuff that's already on my palette or making mixes, so that I don't just use pure colors for my palette. Because I have a bad habit of using only the colors on my palette directly from the well, which is why Artful Turkey, when he's here, says my palette is so clean all the time. He's not wrong. It's mainly because I don't make a lot of color mixes and leave them there. I usually clean up after my what I think are messes, right? Ooh, it's nice. And that purple just kind of made a mess in the middle, but we're going to let it sit. I'm not going to touch that. Grab another sheet. Oh, you know what I've not used? I said I wasn't going to use another brush, but I am, because I'm going to try one that I've not used yet. I'll put this over here for now. I have these, I forget what they call them, dagger point, I think. It's not a good one. It's a cheap one. You can tell because it just kind of it lost its shape almost completely. But when it gets wet, well, when it gets wet, it almost comes back. Let me see. If I can coax it back into shape. That's closer. Let me use my fingers for that. Here we go. Uh, oh yeah, I cut out again, and now it's back. Oh, weird. Um, realize if I played music during my streams, I have no idea what persona to play. Yeah, that's why I'm doing what I've got. I switched it over to a method where you can request songs, so I'm not in control of it anymore. I've got like a backup playlist that's playing now, but if you want to request any music, just do exclamation point SR space and then the name of the track. And if you want to do the name of like the track and the artist, that'll work pretty well. And when my current song ends, it should play yours. And then if there's no more stuff in the list, it goes back to my backup playlist. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Um, and Gauss asked, what sign am I? Aries. I'm an Aries baby. I'm unironically born on Easter Sunday in my year. Yeah. But this, when it is formed back into shape, is meant to look like this, right? So it's kind of like a dagger point or like a stinger, right? I don't, goddess. Like when my all the additional features, I don't know any of that without looking it up. But you can look it up if you want to. I mean, I can send you my birth date separately. Of course, I have to remember how to do that. This one? That's the one. On my side. Oh, okay. Leaning and twisting to your left while you're still sitting facing forward is not good for your side. Just throwing that out there for anyone that needs to know this. Okay, I love it. Oh, you're Aries as well? Yeah, I thought it was super weird that I was born on a holiday, especially one of the few holidays that shifts depending on like which Sunday it is in the month, like Thanksgiving. It's so weird. It's so weird. It's all over the place. I don't get Easter. Whatever. It is what it is, right? Anywho, this thing. The goal of this is to have a well, like a wellspring of water in the belly so that you can paint using the tip. And if you want to push down and it's spread, it should spread out and then back to a point. But this isn't a very good quality version. I'll have to look for more somewhere else, but this is like a cheapy Amazon brand that had no reviews, and I can tell when I use it. But I haven't really used it, so I haven't really punished myself by using it. So I'm gonna try. Thankfully, they were dirt cheap. Like it was like $12 or something for a pack of 3, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But I'm gonna try it the way it's supposed to be used. So I'm gonna give that a shot. So let me grab another piece of paper while this is drying. And let's make some colors. I'm thinking maybe we can try doing like a really quick fake leaf. Like, it's probably not even going to be anywhere near accurate, but just a leaf kind of shape. So I'm going to do like a point. And then a point over here. It may end up looking more like a star, but we're going to see how it goes. Or maybe it'll look like a Christmas tree. I don't know. Probably be better if I had a leaf in front of me to practice with, because this surely is not going to look like I intend. But again, this is just plain. I don't care if it's perfect. It's definitely not going to be. All right. And let's just fill up the middle of this, get some to the edges. The worst part about this is putting clear water down on white paper, it disappears almost completely. So I have to hold it at an angle to be able to get it on here at all. Excuse me. That's fun to listen to, right? Throat clearing. Oh yeah, that's all over the place, but you know what? It's fine. It's about as not a leaf as it can be, but you know what? We're going to let it go. Let's mix up some colors. Some I already have, but if I were to pick colors I like from here, that one is basically pure orange somehow, so I'm not going to do that one. But that one's nice. Dragon's Blood in Orange Lake. Let's grab some more of that. I did that over here, I think. Grab some Dragon's Blood. Mix that in. And I'm just going to touch it in different places. Let's go here. Maybe here. Realize I should probably do a base of some sort of green. I already got some here, so I'm just going to add some of this to it. Okay, and grab some of this yellow, mix it with this orange, get some of that in there. Okay. I do have some brown mixture going on. I'm just going to mix up what's already there. Okay. And I need some kind of red. How about we go for this? Yep. What was a red I like from here? Oh, I actually like I could do a mix. I've got this violet, and interestingly, I really liked it with the orange lake in it. Looks more like a tree than a leaf. Huh. It's something. I have no consistency because I'm terrible at creating from my memory because I just don't see things like that in my head. Um, I have to do references a lot because without it, I can't visualize what something should be, which is probably why half the time my dreams don't really like look too realistic sometimes. Last night they did. Man, I had a crazy dream last night. But yeah, that should have been thinner. And these just look like spikes. It looks more like one of those bombs you see that they used to use back in the day to hit submarines. I'm just doing whatever I want now. Yeah. Weirdness. Weirdness ensues. Let's put this back over here. Let's go back to our random. Because this is just kind of going where it wants and doing what it wants to do. It doesn't look like a leaf anymore. So let's go back over here. All right. Random colors. This time I'm just doing wet directly on the dry paper. So let's pick on somebody. This is an ultramarine. And what did I do with the ultramarine deep? I like the violet. That made a really pretty deep violet color. So let's do some of that. Okay. That side over there was a little bit more blue. Let's grab some more of that. Curious if I do like I was talking about and try to go out and back again. It does it with a texture, but because it's not shaped super well, it spreads out above the dagger tip of it, and it spreads out and it doesn't like do shapes that I would expect it to do, like a round brush does. But it adds like a interesting texture to it though, right? Sorry, I'm kind of far away from it, right? So like I'm doing this at weird angles, so forgive me. Right. See, so like the thick part of it, it like I don't know, it kind of separates weirdly. Sometimes that's all right. It's interesting. Let's see. What else can we do with this? That blended really prettily. Pretty. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna stop with that before I add too much to it. Ooh, I just got a nice little breeze coming in through the window. That was fun. Yeah, the brush has a lot of potential. Um, I think it's just me. I need to learn how to use it well. I've got 3 sizes of it. So you can certainly work with it with smaller brushes as well. So maybe we can do that with a third piece of paper. Try all 3 of these. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, a 4th sheet. I forgot we got this leaf catastrophe over here. All right. So let's get some mixes going before I hit it on paper, and we can try different things. I also have a habit of doing every color I've got, and I need to try to stick to a certain color like spectrum, right? So let me try that. So let's get some sort of red mixture going. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Let's go longer. Okay, I need a little more. And grab some orange. I haven't used that yet. Let's use a little bit of the yellow ochre. That's where that's going, because that's where it decided it wanted to be. Okay. And excuse me. Ooh, idea. Grab some of my indigo. Shove it over here. Okay. And let's clean my brush really well. And let's grab some yellow vanadium, whatever. Add that to my indigo and just go right in here with it. Indigo turn that very green, which makes sense. I do think I need some more yellow in that. So let me add some to the right of it. But not pure yellow. Actually, I've already got some of this mixed in right there. With that. But yeah, that turned out a little muddy because that orange was a little muddy, but just put a little more yellow with some green and more than that. Yeah, there we go. I just wanted to tweak that a lighter direction, so that's kind of nice. And I got myself a spot over there that I'm going to have to take care of. Okay. Ooh, let's grab some green gold with that. No one say. Okay. I need something in the middle there to distract from that. I lost a hair in there. Okay. Just go the next size down. And let's go for some richer color. But again, I have to mix. So what did I mix with this red that I really liked? The violet was kind of nice. Get out of here, Bubbles. Yeah, you're going to be a part of it. That's fine. Okay. I'm only going to do one of those. I do like that blue. I need to get some more of that. And so green. I haven't done that. A nice green blue mixture should make a really pretty turquoisey color. Okay. It just ended up making a really pretty emerald. Okay, I'm going to do the one. This is all dried on this side, so I'm just going to be going over the top of it. And I've already done blue and green. That's a little bit of the blue dragon's blood. Mm-hmm. Right, I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna keep messing with it. And I can't do that. So I'm gonna leave that one be. Yeah, the brush is really nice when it comes to um, flattening it out and then coming back up again. It's actually got really nice texture when it gets drier on the bottom. Some interesting colors. It does start getting really muddy when I add the darker colors, so I probably want to keep the colors kind of rich. I wonder if we can do some really nice like pastel colors. Be interesting. Those little squiggles were kind of interesting. Aside from doing what I just did, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to use it, but the brush is really nice. It's a really interesting brush. I realize I'm zoomed way in. You can't see everything. Yeah, they're really interesting. I imagine it's really cool for doing, because I'm doing S bends with it. I'm thinking snakes and serpents and dragons and things. I imagine getting some shapes like that down are pretty doable. I love how I turned 3 of the 4 that I cut into the same thing. Have the same idea, basically. That was nice. That one came out really interesting too. It's not quite what I was going for today. I was kind of trying to go for more stuff like this. Let's and the rolling an hour in. Yeah. A beautiful Medusa. It is. It is very snake haired. Maybe we can do that. I have no idea what how to do that, but we can try it. Whoops. I had a thought the other day of doing something for Halloween painting, but I wasn't sure what. Kind of doing it now without realizing it. Sorry, I kind of stopped talking, got lost in the sauce there for a minute. Just kind of doing whatever comes to mind. Whoops. She's all over the place. Yeah, I probably should have left that alone, but hey, it happened, so here it is. It is what it is. Me doing too much. That's what it is. Do I know what this is? No. Just like me, she's a mess. No. Yeah. Well, I don't know what this turned into or why, but it happened. So, someone said Medusa. I thought meat, and then I just ran with it, and it didn't quite work, but and maybe it did. I am bad at I'm bad at saying I don't like something and then turning around later and saying I do. Sometimes I continue that thought and I still don't like it, and that's understandable and expected and true. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes the next time I look at it. Clearly, it needs to dry, and maybe I'll do something fiddly with it and see. Uh, it's a thing. It's certainly a thing. Let me clean up a little bit of that. Wow, it's only been 22 minutes. It feels like it's been 3 hours. How's that possible? Probably because I've used up so much expensive paper in such a short amount of time. Let's try this off. Yeah, it's a thing. It still needs to dry, but I think I'll stop with that. It does make me think though, I might go over it later on when it's totally dry and maybe do some like pen, some penning to try to make shapes in here that might actually look good and maybe put little like mouths on little snake heads, right? And maybe I'll use the white gel pen. I'll do like little circular kind of chain link looking things here to try to recreate like a rainbow fleece instead of a golden fleece. And maybe instead of coning her, making her fabulous. Who knows? It could be anything, right? Anyway, right now it is what it is. So it's going over here, never to be seen again, maybe. And then the other stuff that we fiddled with today, making random, totally random things. It's really just random. Maybe we can do something with this. Yeah, I made a bunch of random stuff. Oops, I totally smacked my mic. I bet that sounded great. I'm curious. Not this one. This one. It's the paper I normally use when I'm not using arches. Is this Strathmore 300 series? Or 400 series, my bad. Yep. I have bigger versions of this, but this was handy in it like this. Should I tear you? No. How is it that sometimes I can get this to tear and other times it's just like not a chance? There we go. Come on. Okay. Well, that almost worked. Okay. Clean water. That just did random colors. It's amazing how something that I think in my head doesn't do what I want when it comes down to actually doing it. So silly. I'm just going to do random shit then because who cares anymore? And sometimes that's how some of the neatest stuff comes out. Who knows? Yeah, it's something. It's a mess. I'm so I need to step away from doing the random bullshit days because they don't always work. They don't always work, guys. They just don't. Probably because you need some quality before I start doing this like random bullshit stuff. So I got to practice and get good, as the kids say, before I really go nuts with going off the rails. Because my going off the rails is like unguided meditation. Like it's just dangerous, right? Sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes I get the weirdest shit that actually looks really good. Sometimes I just, keep going and going and then garbage ensues. So, it's just what it is. I'm not, I'm going to stop. I need to. Let me grab some paper towels so I can dry it off the brush. On. Oh, okay, fine, sure. Don't tear. That's cool. I don't mind. I don't mind. Really, no. Pretend it didn't happen. Next time, we need to figure out what to do, right? So I think that's the question. What am I going to do next time? I usually come up with it myself. But if anyone is still here and you have any ideas for anything that you'd like to suggest that I do, um, one, please feel free to shout it out in chat. And I'll do my best to remember. But two, I don't often do this, but there are tools in Twitch that I've already set up below in my about section, all the cards that you can make down there, right? I have one down there already for suggestions. So if you ever have any ideas for anything you'd like me to try and give a whirl, put it there. I think it allows URLs. So if there's any like inspiration images or videos or anything like that, you should be able to post that in there. I'll see it too. So I can get the ideas from it and try them out. Or just any suggestions you've got for anything. Feel free to put them there. When it comes to during the stream, you can usually shout it out in chat. That'll be just fine. At some point, due to a suggestion from Dada, she had a great idea to do one of my channel planner games or a couple of them where you can choose colors for me or choose color mixes for me. So I can go through and not have control over everything I'm doing sometimes. But clearly losing control is going to cost you. So the longer you're here, the longer you'll get some of the channel points, my barely points, and we'll find a good use for them, I promise, at some point. For now, everything's pretty much free or cheap, so it doesn't take being here long before you can burn through points and use it for something. But I also could use ideas for what to put in for point redemptions. So if you got any good ideas you've seen elsewhere or something fresh, let me know and I'll try to incorporate it. I think I'm going to stop. It's only an hour and a half, but whatever. I'm tired. I'm done. I will be back on Thursday. Maybe I'll have done something with this hot mess to turn it into something somewhat palatable. Maybe at least put the little mouths on the snake heads. And maybe put some sort of actual guidance to the face, even though the paint will be outside the bounds. Maybe I'll fix it with lines. Who knows? I'll figure something out. I'll play with it. But if I don't like it, you'll never see this again. But if it's okay, then maybe you will. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to stop. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. My name is Bear. I've definitely been barely watercoloring. I say that a lot, but I mean it. The name exists for a reason. Medusa surfing on a rainbow. I was thinking it was kind of like the golden fleece, but like a rainbow fleece, making her fabulous is what I said earlier. So who knows? Maybe I can modify it in some way to make it a little better. We'll see. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to stop. I'm going to go find something to eat. Actually, I already know what I'm eating. But yeah, I'm going to head out. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'll be back on Thursday and I'll try to come up with a good idea for something to do. Until then, I wonder if there's anybody online. Let's see. Hopefully it's not going to blast myself back at myself. Watercolor. Anybody? There's someone online I like that doesn't do art. Well, she does art, but she's got 500 people. So I don't like raiding into busy streamers because it's like a little guy that nobody knows raiding to someone who has a crap ton of people. It just sounds weird. So, um, she's fun. I've followed her before and she's got a little character in the corner. That's cute. All right. Let's grab this username. Tundra Katie Bean. Tundra Katie Bean. Let's go right into her. Paste. I'm doing this with one hand. Well, let me get rid of the URL part of the name and maybe it'll find her. There we go. All right, we're on our way. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to hit my end card really quick. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you on Thursday. I'll try to be a little more organized. I'll do something hopefully a little bit more fun and well organized. So we'll see how it goes. I might not. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.